What's up, everybody? My name is Dana Harris with Young Gurus Math Tutoring, and I'm back again to drop some more math jewels. In this video, I'm going to show you how to find the length of a side of a special right triangle. Remember, there are a couple different special right triangles. Well, this one that we're going to be working with is the 45 degree, 45 degree, 90 degree right triangle. Okay, so one of the things that I want to point out for you with this 45, 45, 90 right triangle is that there is a ratio of the lengths of sides. And I'm going to draw this small triangle right here. Actually, you know what? Let's make it bigger. Why not? Why not make it bigger? So, there's a ratio of the lengths of the sides. Alright, so now, if this is the right angle here, and let's say this is a leg, this is a leg, and then this is the hypotenuse. So what that tells me is that if this is a 45-degree angle, hopefully this green shows up. So this is a 45-degree angle, then obviously that one has to be a 45-degree angle because remember, the sum of the three angles are 180 degrees. So if I have 90 here, and then that means 45 here, plus another 45 would be 180. All right. So the legs of that triangle are the same length. And then to find the length of the hypotenuse, we take the leg and multiply it by the square root of 2. All right. Let's get into some examples. Why not? So let's see. Example 1. And I'm going to do my best. Remember, these triangles are not drawn to scale. Please know that they are not drawn to scale. That definitely doesn't look like a 90-degree triangle. Alright? As a matter of fact, you know what? I want it to look better. I can't do it like that. Let's make it look better. So let's say that looks a little more realistic. Alright, and let's say this is a 90-degree angle. That's a right angle. Alright, that's the symbol for the right angle. So on this triangle, let's say I have letter B. We're going to get colorful this video. So I have B there. I have A down here. And then I have 14 right here. Now, if this is a right angle, then this has to be a 45-degree angle right there. All right. Can you see that 45? That is a 45-degree angle, which means this is also a 45-degree angle, right? So remember the ratio we have. This is a leg. How do I know it's a leg? Because the hypotenuse is always directly across from the right angle. All right. So if you ever are mistaken on where the hypotenuse is, remember I just always kind of draw this angle, that arrow right there, and that tells me that A is the hypotenuse. So if this is a leg, remember the legs are the same. So automatically B is going to equal 14. All right. Now, in order to get A, remember I have to take this value of the leg and multiply it by the square root of 2. Okay. So if I want to get A, I'm going to say 14 times the square root of 2 equals A. All right, so that's the first one. That's a rather simple example, but we're going to get into some a little more tedious. Let's go ahead and get those. Example number 2. Example 2. So let's draw this one. I like my angles actually, my triangles to be as close to perfect as possible, but it would take forever to do this video if I actually wanted perfect angles. Okay? Boom. Fun fact too, by the way, I realized when I was working as a content specialist years ago, when we would write test problems, we actually had to have the exact size of the angle on the test problems for standardized tests. So just so you know, when you see a standardized test, I don't know if every company does it, but that angle, if this says this is a 90-degree angle, they have actually measured out a 90-degree angle. If this says this is a 45-degree angle, they have measured out a 45-degree angle. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, here we go. So let's see. They have to give us something. Well, they give us this right here, 6 times the square root of 2. All right, so this is a leg. This V is also a leg. Well, we know the legs are the same value, okay? So if this leg is 6 times the square root of 2, then V also equals 6 times the square root of 2. Now, here's the trick. In order to get the hypotenuse, we have to actually take the leg and multiply it times the square root of 2. So, in order to get U, what we're actually doing is U equals 6 times the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 again. Okay? Now, let's use our algebraic properties. Square root of 2 times the square root of 2 equals the square root of 4. Well, 4 is a perfect square number. Square root of 4 is 2, right? Yes. I hope you remember that. So 6 times 2 is equal to U. U equals 12. All right, so in this case, U, boom, is equal to 12. And all I did was just plug in the value to that ratio, okay? This seems to be pretty simple for some, but the trick to it is remembering that ratio of the lengths of sides. If you can recall that, you will be okay, as Buckwheat used to say. You'll be okay. Example 3. Let's and I have to be mindful because a lot of my students are calling me out in class. They're saying, Mr. Harris, you said 3. So example, tree, for those of you that have been watching. If you don't know why I say tree, please go back and look for the video titled The Number Tree. Alright, A, B, and I have, let's see, my notes are covered up a little bit. That's 20. This is a right angle. This is a, let's put the 45-degree angle up here. 45-degree angle. And once again, that has to be 45 degrees. So, we have the hypotenuse. So, we're kind of working backwards this time. So, the hypotenuse, actually, in this case, I have to say, let's start with A. So, A times the square root of 2 is equal to 20. All I did was take this leg times the square root of 2 because of that, and it's equal to this hypotenuse. Well, now I have to solve for A. So in order to do that, I have to divide by the square root of 2 on both sides. That cancels out. I have A is equal to 20 over the square root of 2. But that radical in the denominator, we have to rationalize this denominator. What does that mean? I got a video on that too. Look up the video, rationalizing the denominator. So I have to multiply the numerator and the denominator by this square root of 2. So I'm going to say, boom, square root of 2 there, square root of 2 there. And what that gives me is, in the numerator, 20 times the square root of 2. And in the denominator, square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 4, which is just 2. All right? And then now, last but not least, I need to simplify that. 20 divided by 2 is 10 times the square root of 2. Okay? So A is equal to 10 times the square root of 2. All right? A equals 10 times the square root of 2. Well, if I know what A is, I know what B is also. So B equals 10 times the square root of 2. All right? Remember, rationalizing that denominator. All right? I want to do one more example. Numero 4. I'm always asking my students for different ways to say different words in different languages. I really enjoy having a diverse population of students here in Oakland, California. Shout out to my students at Montera Middle School. You all are phenomenal. Example 4. Let's see. We're going to do an upright triangle this time. Boom. Boom. We're going to pretend this is a perfectly right triangle. This one is going to be 45 degrees. And we're going to say X here, Y here. And we're going to get 11 for the hypotenuse. All right. Now, I have the hypotenuse. So now remember, the leg times the square root of 2 is equal to hypotenuse. So I'm going to say x times the square root of 2 is equal to 11. All right, so I need to get x by itself, divide by square root of 2 on both sides. Those cancel. I'm going to take it over here. X is equal to 11 over the square root of 2. I need to rationalize this, so I multiply the numerator and the denominator by the square root of 2. All right, that's going to give me 11 times the square root of 2 over, remember, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4, which is the square root of 2 over 2. All right, this is going to be my final answer because 11 divided by 2 is 5.5, so we can leave it like that. So now I know that this leg is equal to 11 times the square root of 2 over 2, and this leg is equal to 11 times the square root of 2 over 2. All right, so that's the same thing. 11 square root of 2 over 2. All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you need to brush up on things like rationalizing the denominator, please check that video out. Also, you'll probably see more videos about 30, 60, 90-degree triangles and whatnot. This is the beginning, actually, of a video list of geometry videos. I really, really enjoy teaching geometry. It's one of my favorite topics to teach. But thank you so much for watching. Follow me on IG, YoungGurus_Math Tutoring. On Facebook, Young Gurus Math Tutoring. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, I've got the solution to your math problems.